Hi everybody, welcome back to Reclaimed by Angel. This video is going to be about a bunch of stuff I've got over the last little while in my trips to thrift stores for junk journaling. So you can see that I got right in front of here some doilies, hand crocheted doilies. I love picking up old linens, things like this, because somebody put a lot of time and work into this, and I like to think that it's going to get another life in my journals or in somebody's journals. So we've got these two right here. Forgive me, Leo is walking around my room again. So like the colors, I love the design. I like the banding in it, so pick that one up. Here's another one. Yeah, these typically run me anywhere from 25 cents to maybe $1.50, $2. I picked these. There's a bunch of Christmas hankies that I could use on a Christmas journal. So there's that one. Let's see, a nice wreath, and the toy soldiers. I have a thing, I like toy soldiers. It's one of my favorite Christmas themes. This, I think, came in a bag of other fabrics, so it's just a piece of lace, but you can still use that to edge your junk journals or put on a page as a marker. And this is a hand-stitched table runner. A cute pattern. Little house. Not quite sure what that is, but it matches. Shall that be used for? You can also pick a couple pieces of fabric. Again, this is not really that old, but I liked the pattern on it. You could cut that out or cut out just a few of the flowers. And it's thick and it's heavy, so that would be good. A napkin. Again, I liked that pattern. I have a little coaster maybe. You could use this as a pocket right in your junk journals, either glue or sew along the 3 edges, and then it could be a pocket. Just a plain white one with a bit of tatting at the end. And then these ones are napkins. I liked the flower. So we've got some pink and some blue. I picked this up because I thought this would be a good cover. This is a placemat. It's very heavy duty cotton. And I thought, if you fold it in half, you could make a nice cover out of this. It's a good sized journal. You even have a bit of room to wrap if you want to do a wrap around cover. So I thought that would be really good. And then here's just a few other pieces of fabric that I picked up. This is actually, I think this is a sheet. Yeah, this one's a sheet. And this is a great value for your money. If you're looking to get fabric to use in your junk journals, look for sheets or pillowcases, because you normally can pick them up for a few bucks and you get quite a bit of material. I loved this one. It's almost so ugly. I love it. Bright pink flowers, little yellow flowers, green leaves and stuff. I loved it. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's so ugly you gotta love it. And then some more Christmas napkins, holly berries and bells. So this was a great find. Holly Hobby pillowcases. So I'm going to put together a lot where you've probably already seen that I have some Holly Hobby wallpaper, and I found some sewing patterns for Holly Hobby. So I'm going to put together a little lot of items for those who remember Holly Hobby and maybe had a few of her things when you were younger. I know that was me. And it just brings back great memories. So there's another one. This one's a little bit worn, but you've already got the other side. So I found the 2 pillowcases, and then here is the last pillowcase that I liked. Just a plain fabric, but I like the banding. Okay, and then we got a few books. So Go Dog Go. This is obviously a Dr. Seuss book. I don't know that I've ever seen this book. So it's copyright 1961. Great pictures, you know, good size, weight paper. Okay, another one of these books. I'm just going to clear these out of the frame here. So another book, Canada Revisited. I picked this one up. It's a textbook, and I picked it up because I liked some of the pictures in here for Canada's history. Not necessarily the stories, but I'm Indigenous, and I like picking up papers and books and stuff that have Indigenous pictures or art or symbols. So I don't necessarily agree with how they're portraying the Canadian history here, but I mean, I love the images like this. So that's why I picked up this one. You probably know from some of the videos that I really like vintage cookbooks, especially ones that have great covers. So this is the actual hardcover. Love the design on this one. The paper is very heavy, really great. The pictures are in color. You can see that. It's going to be great junk journaling material. Let's see if I can find the age. The age of this one is 1961. It doesn't feel that old. It has the look of the old paper, but it doesn't feel that old. And the cover is in really good shape for it being that old. Just a little bit of wear at the bottom, so that's great. Love that cover. And so here's another one. Kind of along the same vein. You can see that it's got this great inside cover. If you take off the jacket, and it's the same paper. It might be by the same publisher because it has the same look and feel. And some of those great illustrations. Nice and thick, good shape. And this one is, I don't see a date on there. Oh, there we go, 1964. So we've got this book, Word Wonder Dictionary. Like the illustrations on it. Paper is a good weight. Just like this one for the illustrations. And the fact that when you do your definitions, if you want to cut them out for journaling, the printing is really big here. So that's nice. I mean, really big, relatively speaking, to a regular dictionary. So it's nice that you can actually read it. And let's see if we can find a year. And this is copyright 1966. I feel like I might have done that book already in a previous video. I don't know. Okay. I also look for cards. And so this one I found, you can see it was $2. And it had, I mean, oh my God, look how cute is that. It had a bunch of cards in it of, well, obviously that's a bonus card, of dogs in it, puppies, just a little, you know, message inside. But if you don't like the message, you can always cover this up and use it as a place to journal, or like a little insert. You can add some photos in there. You could put your memorabilia. So if you have receipts or tickets or something like that, you could also put that in there. You could make them a pocket if you close this part. Then this would be the pocket. But who doesn't love puppies? Oh, there's another bonus one. I just thought they were so cute. And they comes with the envelopes. So for $2, a bunch of different puppy cards, a couple of bonus Christmas cards, and the envelopes. I also got some wallpaper to share with you. So this one is just the roll, and you can see it's a floral pattern, brand new, paid 50 cents for it. So that's nice. And then this one, I thought, I hummed and hawed about getting this one because honestly, it falls in that category again of it's so ugly you've got to love it. And I wasn't sure I loved it as much as that other pink fabric. But this, I mean, I don't know, it's crazy cute, I guess. Right? You've got these guys sleeping on pillows and the elephants and the lions, and it's the pink and purple, and I don't know, I just thought it would be really fun in a journal. So I picked this up. I probably paid, I don't even know if I paid $1 for it. There we go. For this whole big roll. Okay, what's next? Oh, I'm always not always looking for vintage stuff. So I saw this little guy. It's a hanging for Christmas. It's cross-stitched on plastic canvas. I think that's plastic canvas. And then it's got some beaded work for Frosty and some of Frosty's items. So it's beaded around him, and it's got his scarf and his mitts with this little dangly snowflake. I just thought that would be adorable in a Christmas journal or a winter journal. So I picked this up. It's not vintage, obviously, but someone put a lot of time and effort into it, and we can give it a second life. So I thought I'd get that. No price on it, but it was probably $1. And so along the lines of not always having to be vintage, I also look for stuff that has paper or things I can use. So this one I picked up. This one was 99 cents. And it's just a journal. It's got a nice little spot where you could put a different color thing if you wanted. The paper is craft, very faintly lined, which is nice. It's kind of a cool little binder binding on it. Ring binding on it. So I picked that up because I love writing on craft paper and including that in my journals. And then similarly, I found this sketchbook where it's got quite a bit of the pages left. There's no price on this, but it was probably 50 cents or $1. And so Strathmore's a good name. Put some blank pages in your book. So I've got this next up. It's called the ship list. And it's just a notepad. Presumably you're supposed to put this on your fridge for your shopping list or whatever. But this makes a nice place to journal lists and stuff in your junk journals. And then I picked up this thing. I wasn't sure what it was when I first looked at it. It's got this cool, way you open binding, but it's a house inventory. Some of it's already filled in, you can see. So let's flip that over. But it folds out like that. And I thought that was really cool to be using in journals. Even if your journal isn't this tall, you could cut it in half. But I thought it was pretty cool. And then I like the way that it also folds up. Again, no price on this. I think I paid $1. In fact, somebody had this in their hand when I was at the thrift store. And I was kind of curious to see what it was. So I just kept my eye on her to see if she was going to take it or put it down. So when she put it down, I snatched it up. So her loss is my gain. There's these books. You've probably seen some of them around. It's called The Bookshelf for Boys and Girls. There's different volumes in it. And this paper happens to be glossy, but it's on different subjects. Some of them are fairy tales. This one looks like it's historical. What is this one? Art and music, right there. I like the covers. I like the texture on them. I like the way they look. They've got a picture on the front. I like the inside paper. Normally there's another one. It looks like that normally, but this one obviously has been torn out by someone. And the year on this one is 1958. So again, I like to say you got some music. I like being able to use old books that might not find a life, might get recycled. Right, we keep them around and use them in our current crafts and give them a second life. Let's see. So now we've got this. I saw a bridge for 2 on this box. I wasn't sure what was going to be inside it. It doesn't have a year that I can see. I paid $4. There we go, 1972. And I wasn't sure what I was going to find in here. A little disappointed not to find scorecards, but there is the instruction booklet that you can use the pages from, and 2 brand new sets of cards, and they're kind of cool. I like the design on them. So this kind of stuff here, I would recycle it. and get rid of it. I might actually keep the cover and cut this out because it's a very vintagey looking picture from the 70s. So that I might keep, but the rest of the stuff I'll recycle. Tuck those back in there. What's up next? So here's another one of those dictionaries. This one's color. It looks quite a bit older. The printing is still a good size. Heavy paper, so that would be great to do journaling on. It would take paint or markers very well. Look at that, the end papers. Those are awesome. Love that. Love that. And year is 1974. So I have got two older books here. I believe they're encyclopedias, so reference library. And it's got, you know, that's the company, obviously. And they're falling apart. I'm going to get the age of them. Nice end papers. I like, oh, they're textured too. So this is from 1916. And I know some people might have an issue with using books that are this old in your junk journals. And here's my take on it. This book is falling apart, right? No one is going to, they would likely end up in recycling because when they're at the thrift store and they're this age and they're in this condition, they're not going to be there that long. And I think once they've been sitting on the shelf, the people are going to get rid of them. And there's no other place to get rid of them but to recycle them. So I like, again, keeping it at the recycle pile, using it for the junk journaling. Look at that cute dog. Giving it a second life, right? Reusing stuff that we have created. Look at that. That's really a nice page. Pages are glossy. The pictures, not the pages. This paper is matte. The pages with the colored photos are glossy. So that's my take on it. I would even keep this cover and use this for a cover on the junk journal. Either repair the spine or just use the covers. And this is just another volume of the same thing. And I don't think I paid very much for these either, considering they're, you know, over 100 years old. What else do we got? So, Children's Treasure House of Stories. This one was $1. Nice thick paper, very thick, and big enough that if you want to fold it in half to create your page to stitch into your spine, that you still have a decent size page to work on. And some nice illustrations. Again, the colored pages are a little glossy. This one's not too bad. And the year on this, oh look, we even have a writing, it's a birthday present from 1987. But the book itself is copyright 1986. Oh, it feels older than that. That's strange. It feels much older than that. And that would make a good sized journal too. Significant enough to be able to do a lot of artwork or journaling. Here we go. We got this, again, vintage cookbook, Reader's Digest Creative Cooking. I like how the cover opens longer this way, so that would make an interesting journal. This one is from 1977. The pages are matte, even though they're color, which is great. And I love looking at these old 70s recipes. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I look at these recipe books, there's always a shot of the Jell-O mold that used to have fruit and stuff in it. There's an old Royal Bank hours card. This isn't even, I mean, it's their symbol now, but I think it's more an updated version. So I thought this was nice. Parsnip casserole. So anyways, so we got that one. And the last thing I wanted to do with you guys today, oh wait, I don't think I've showed you guys these before. So let's show you them. I got two. Picked them up at the thrift store. They were $1.50 each, I want to say. And what they are gardening books. But when you go further in, there's these cards, right? So I think it's so you can plan your garden. You see how it would look if you had like these 3 things or these 4 things. But they're really cool. I mean, you know, they've got great color illustrations on them. Unfortunately, the thing on the back, the description on the back is not what's on the front, right? So this Clarissa Blue is what this is. But I thought they could be used for tags or journaling spots or whatever, or art. You can cut them out. And so I got both of them. So that one's that, and then this one is a similar style. And I thought those were really fun. So the last thing I wanted to do with you guys now is tell you how I handle encyclopedias. Because I think encyclopedias sometimes may scare people off, because if you're looking at a set, or you can get one for free, I mean, you know, sometimes you're getting 20, 30 volumes. I guess you're always getting at least 26 volumes because there's one for every letter, plus an index, and sometimes there's annuals, sometimes there's an atlas, or there's a medical version, like a medical volume that goes with it. And so I'm going to show you what I do with encyclopedias, especially if they're not that old. Okay, so these ones from 1979. I actually had these exact encyclopedias growing up, and it's funny, when my kids first saw me bringing some encyclopedias home, they asked me what they were, and I went, well, this was my Google. This is how we did research and projects and stuff and looked things up when I was a kid. So what I do is I'm going to keep a couple of the covers just for nostalgia, for my purposes, because this is what I grew up with. And I'm going to take these out. And then what I do is I remove the papers. All right, I don't want to store 30 or 40 volumes of something, so I will take it out. Yeah, Leo's over there on top of some of my china, resting his head in a bowl. So I'm going to take some of these out. What I thought was cool about this, the title, I envisioned making a junk journal for myself saying, Angel's New Book of Knowledge. And so then I can put in either life lessons or things I've learned, you know, lessons I want to pass on, that kind of thing. So I'm going to keep this because it talks about D and the background and the history and what it means and all that kind of stuff. So if your name starts with D, then you can use that. And then I just look through the pages. So I like animals. It's kind of cool that you've got 4 cows, 6 different cows on there. So I would tear that one out. And I just go through and see, like, look at that vintage picture with the kids pouring the milk. Oh my goodness. So I don't think about it too much. I mean, I don't keep everything, obviously. But you go through. Sometimes I'll keep illustrations if I think they're cool. That one's not cool enough for me to keep. I like the ballet, so I'll take that one. And so then I just go through it, just like that. I like this old picture. So the reason I'm not keeping this one is this one's a little freaky. I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me, so I'm leaving it there. It's the same with these. I'm going to leave it there. No. And so like I said, don't think about it too much. There's some more modernish plants, so we'll keep that. I like this old picture, so we'll keep that. And so I just go through and I do exactly what I've been doing. None of these pictures do anything for me. There are some that have the presidents of the United States or states or provinces, or prime ministers of Canada, and so I keep them. This I think is kind of cool. So how to do signing, so I'm going to keep that. I like that illustration. And then I just go through. Kind of fun. I have a folder for sports and stuff, so we'll keep that one. And I go through the whole book and pull out the stuff that speaks to me. And sometimes some of the stuff that I pull out, and I'll show you an example of some of the other stuff I've kept, sparks a story in me, right? So here's a couple of pages. This one I kept because I love this wrought iron window, a wrought iron gate. So I can see myself cutting it out and using that. Pictures of the castles. I kept this one because, well, I mean, look at that record player. So this makes me think of the stories of when I used to take my allowance. I would get, you know, $2 or $3 a week or $5 a week, and I would go to the mall and buy myself 45s or LPs, so that the larger records, and play them on my record player. So that sparked a story. So I could cut this out. You get a little bit of information if you want about the item that it is, and then you can write your personal story. You know, if you've gone and visited different countries, you can keep the pages out of the encyclopedia and use it to illustrate either where you've gone or just about the place. You know, this is very Grecian. Here's another one that sparked a story. I mean, my dad and I learned how to play guitar together. He kept going and became quite good. I didn't practice as much as I should have, but I have a picture of my dad and I sitting together on a bed. He's on one end, I'm on the other, and we're playing guitar together. And so this again sparked a story to me. I could cut these pictures out. I can use some of the information on guitar playing and then put my story with it in my junk journals. You've gone to Italy, so there you keep the Italy. There's one of the pages for the state. And here's some of the ones where I said I keep some cool illustrations. So you can certainly do that. I picked up this set of encyclopedias, so the Book of Knowledge from 1979 for free. I looked on my local wanted pages, so Kijiji in my case, and they were giving them away because people just aren't willing to pay for stuff that's not really, really old. And, you know, where are they going to end up? It's going to end up in the recycle bin. So I went and picked them up, and I'm working my way through the volumes, keeping the pictures and pages that I want, and then recycling the rest. And so you got some free junk journal material. I mean, look at that, man. Look at the living room setting. That's awesome. And it's usually pretty good paper. I mean, this paper is pretty thick. It's matte. Would make really good material. And, you know, even though it's color, it's still matte. A lot of the color photos are glossy. And so you can see there's old-fashioned pictures. You have some just text if you want. You could use it for decoupage. You can see some of the old vintage items there. So anyway, that's how I handle encyclopedias. I wanted to share that with you guys in case it gave you some ideas of what you can do. I love globes, pictures of maps, globes. And you could also learn something while reading some of this old material. So I hope you enjoyed all that. Until next time, take care, happy thrifting, and happy junk journaling.